get any exercise.
Right.
See, they have cup holders on them.
How fast does it go? Like, if you bought a brand new lawnmower now, how fast?
Well, people customize them. That's the. There's always these backwoods lunatics that fucking amp them up. And, like, I got 400 horsepower in my lawn. Why? Why do you? Why is that?
Yeah.
Why?
So you can get the lawn done in like 3 minutes?
Why? So the rest of us get DUIs when we ride our lawnmower?
I remember as a kid, because we had a big backyard, not like huge. And we always just said to my dad, can't we get a riding lawnmower?
You're the best.
And he refused. So
well, anyway, the two pieces of bullshit here. I don't think, like I said, lawnmower riding while you're drinking is awesome, and it shouldn't be illegal. Second piece is, I love that the police just admit that they didn't cite or charge the mayor. I guess they just do things ass backwards in Aner, Horry County, South Carolina. They released a dash cam video of the officer stopping John Gardner as he drove the riding lawnmower down a 2-lane road Friday, August 25th, about 8:40 p.m. At first, officers can be heard laughing at the sight of the lawnmower, but when Gardner didn't stop the lawnmower for the police's flashing blue lights, they continued a slow-speed chase. That's the time when you want to pull that over. You got to be pretty drunk, not notice the cops are chasing you at 5 miles an hour. They can yell out the window, and you can hear them. Gardner, who is also the chief financial officer for Horry County Schools, then stopped the lawnmower at the intersection and got off. There you go. Got off in more ways than one. That's bullshit. I love how these people just get away with stuff.
See, I didn't hear that story because I now kept thinking I really want to go and test drive a lawnmower. Go to like a store where they have them and say, like a Sears?
I see this thing happening in you. You've been urbanized for so long. You are craving some of what we enjoy here in the
By
suburbs.
the way, your bushes out front look fabulous.
Come on, you're breaking my balls.
No, they really...
You're breaking my balls.
No.
I'm so proud.
They really look
I did
good.
that myself.
Because no lie, when I started coming up here six weeks ago...
You're breaking my balls.
I remember looking at those bushes and going, oh, they could probably use a trim. And now just today, when I pulled up, the first thing I noticed were your bushes.
Now you're baiting me.
No.
I'm so proud of my work on those bushes.
No,
I thought you were baiting me.
No,
Thank
not
you.
at all. Not at all. From one man to another, from a man that appreciates yard work.
Yeah.
Your bushes, the two, right? They have,
Yes.
They have sort of like a little kidney
Well,
shape
there's like
to them.
4 of the big ones you wouldn't.
But they have like a little
Your
kidney
eye is drawn.
right in front of the door, on either
Yes.
side of the door. They have like a little kidney shape to them almost.
I love you, buddy.
They're beautiful, man.
I love you. But
They're
I see
beautiful.
this in you. You're starting to crave some of this lawn mowing shit.
You know what? I want to retire and I want to do nothing but talk with a neighbor about my fucking lawn. That's
It's the
all
best.
I want to do.
That's what I do with Crazy Uncle Ricky next door. You met him outside. He's nuts.
Yeah. Oh, the guy. And I said to him...
You ran screaming from him.
But I said to him, nice leaf blower.
Yes, you did.
And he took it as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
He looked surprised. He went, oh, thanks.
Thank you.
And then I noticed your bushes.
Then RC goes, sorry, I had nothing else to say to you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right.
This might be my favorite story. This might be my favorite. You know, I'm always drawn to criminal stories. I love stupid criminals.
I'm fascinated by it because I want to commit the ultimate crime.
This guy, I don't know what his name is. His name was Mr. Poole, and he'd been arrested. He was police were called to this 37-year-old suspect's home for a reported domestic disturbance last Sunday morning. When the officers arrived, according to the criminal complaint, Mr. Poole exited his home and said, "I will beat every cop's ass." Which, trust me on this, don't ever say that to a cop.
No, they don't like it.
No, they don't. I've never said it to a cop because I'm smart enough to know you don't challenge a cop. Oh my God. A couple weeks ago, I live above a bar in Brooklyn. And a couple weeks ago, there was a disturbance downstairs. So in the middle of the night, and I looked out and there was this guy always without a shirt. He didn't have a shirt as they always, they never have shirts on.
He's fighting, right?
And the cops were being so patient with this guy and they kind of detained him and they let him go, but he wouldn't fucking leave. He was like drunk and disorderly, but they cut him a break. All right, you can go home. But he would walk 10 feet, then he would turn around and go in another thing, and then turn around and go in another thing.
They never know how many chances
and
they
by
get.
that time, a couple more cars have shown up. So by that time, there's probably 8 cops outside.
He could have gone home 9 times.
Easily.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend was like, come on, Johnny, come on, shut the fuck up, Johnny. All right.
I love it already.
Yeah.
I would have pulled a chair up to the window, got popcorn, and I'm not moving.
No, I woke everybody up in the house. You got to come watch this.
See this shit.
This is great.
Got to get good.
So he's in the middle of the intersection, and he just won't fucking leave, all right? And so then he starts threatening the cops. I pay your salary. If not for me, you wouldn't have a fucking job.
Why doesn't this do?
Which makes sense, because if he wasn't committing a crime, they wouldn't have a job.
But this is the tale as old as time. Why do they say the same things?
They must.
It's like the same guy. It's
they
like
must
one
get
family
a script.
Just keeps fucking and making the same baby and the same baby, and that guy just keeps appearing everywhere, taking his shirt off,
and then
fighting.
At some point,
I pay your taxes.
They sit them down and say, "Okay, Timmy, this is what you're going to do next time you get drunk. This is what you say."
Right.
All right. So, but the cops again are being very cool. Go home, dude. Just go home. Go home.
Sleep it off, man.
Because
Come on.
they're New York City cops, God bless them, and they deal with ISIS and shit.
Yeah.
All right. So, here's where he makes a mistake. He turns around and he says, "I'm going home, and I'm going to get my gun, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to take care of you motherfuckers." And then he hits his thigh like the gun is there and goes, boom, boom. They were on him in about 0.1 seconds.
What did he expect?
Yeah. They take him down in the middle of the street. They have cuffs on his arms and his ankles. Before I could even turn around and say, "Hey, you guys should see this."
Right.
They had him. And then, like all big men, he starts crying like a little pussy the minute he realizes he may have gone too far.
Sure.
I didn't do nothing. Johnny didn't do nothing.
I love the impression of the girlfriend because I know that she sounds that way.
Johnny didn't do nothing. And
Hey, Marie, get in the fucking car.
Right, exactly. So, it turns out that he fucked up big time, because not only did they arrest him for making threats, they went to his house. And they broke down the door
guns.
and searched, because it's illegal to have guns in New York City. So because this guy didn't know when to fucking walk away.
Could have went home so many times.
So many times.
Woke up the next morning, took a Tylenol, moved on with
Listen,
his life.
I almost went downstairs and said, "Dude, just go home.
Just go home. You're
because,
so close."
Because there were so many people looking out the windows in my neighborhood in that intersection. And everybody was like, Go home. Dude.
Everybody
go
says
home.
it. Yeah.
Please just go home. Anyway.
I don't even have a joke for this. I got to say God bless the cops and thank God for
God
it.
bless the cops.
I don't know where they get this patience, man.
Yeah, and 10 out of 10 times that I've had to deal with New York City cops have always been good experiences.
Yeah.
Always.
Listen, I've had asshole cops to deal with.
Right.
A lot of them are... they get an ego.
Yeah.
They get a little bit of authority. They get an ego. They could be assholes. But what they got to put up with... Let them be assholes. Let them have an ego.
Because they have to
We have egos, and we're assholes.
Right.
And we're not saving anybody's life or dealing with Johnny!
Exactly. I deal with a heckler every now and then, but I still get to go home. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, Mr. Poole raised his right fist and began to extend it towards his face in an attempt to strike a cop. The cops captured him, threw him down. All right. It was just a typical bust of an asshole, all right? But the thing that makes this so interesting is he had the best alias of all time. He had been arrested before. And you know what his alias was?
Humperdinck from Princess Bride.
Close. Dick Face Johnson.
Well, he nailed it.
So I have nothing but respect for this cat.
No, I don't.
At some point in his life, he had the wherewithal to go, hey, you, what's your name? Dick Face Johnson. And the cops went, all right,
yeah.
You are now Dick Face Johnson for the rest of your life.
Hey, we got to thank our sponsors, Treehouse Comedy Productions, 35 years of doing comedy here in the Northeast. It's really a bunch of states.
Absolutely.
Not just Connecticut, but it's been mostly Connecticut. And they got the locations in Westport. That's the Bistro B location. The original location from 35 years ago.
And it was gone for a while, and now it's back.
Right.
And it's the roundest room you'll ever see. It's beautiful.
Round.
It's very nice. So they have one in Westport. They also have them in New Haven, West Haven, Brantford, and at the Fairfield Theater Company.
Beautiful place.
Got a great show coming up on September 30th. They have Carol Montgomery, who's very funny, very talented. So check her out. Go to treehousecomedy.com for all the shows at all the venues, or you can call the box office at 203-268-5857. And you can also book R.C. Smith and Lou Milano if you are so inclined to do so.
That's 203-268-5857 or treehousecomedy.com. Want to thank Guitar Hanger out of Brookfield, Connecticut, but more importantly, online at guitarhanger.com, because you're not all in the local area. You can get beautiful custom guitars. You can get brand name guitars. You can get your guitar fixed if there's something wrong with it, you can get strings, you can get amps, you can get pedals, you can get wires. If your kid is in high school and about to start up and needs a fucking tuba, you can get it there at Guitar Hanger. You can get reeds, you can get strings, you can get it all. They do cash, they do trade, they do consignment. You can buy, sell, trade.
They fix instruments.
They helped us with our audio here on the Smith and Milano show. It's guitarhanger.com.
Hey, you should also be listening to The Rope Break, which is another fantastic podcast. Joey Etch and Ryan Baer, your only local source for news, opinions, and interviews revolving around pro wrestling and combat sports. New episodes each week available on iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Listen to The Rope Break, brother! How was that? That was like Hulk Hogan.
That was not bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Cinco.
All right, I have the last one. It's just a fucking screenshot. Is that what I have here? All right. It's a screenshot of something from the New York Times.
Wow, I'm riveted. I can't wait.
Way to go.
Can't wait.
Dick Face Johnson.
I think I'm working with it.
All right, let's put it this way. The headline reads, Donald Trump made Jeff Sessions cry.
All right.
And
because, Donald Trump is evil.
Yeah, I'm picking up in the middle of this thing. When the phone call ended, Mr. McGahn relayed the news to the president and his aides. Almost immediately, Mr. Trump lobbed a volley of insults at Mr. Sessions, telling the attorney general it was his fault they were in the current situation. Mr. Trump told Mr. Sessions that choosing him to be attorney general was one of the worst decisions he has made, called him an idiot, and said he should resign.
This is over by the backstory of this is this is about the Russia investigation.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Because look at what's missing from there is the goddamn backstory. I just have the middle story, not even the end story.
All you have is a page that says Trump makes Sessions cry.
That's it. An emotional Mr. Sessions told the president he would resign and left the Oval Office that evening as the Justice Department publicly announced the appointment of Mr. Mueller. The Attorney General wrote a brief resignation letter to the president that was later sent to the White House. A personal
You know what?
all this is old news except for the fact that Jeff Sessions got emotional. And
I don't want
cried.
any of my leaders crying.
Nope.
Ever. None. Zero. I don't care who they are. I don't care whether it's the president, the vice president, the attorney general, whether it's one of the pages that works at the Capitol. I don't want anybody crying in government. There's no crying in government. None.
This is it. These are the only times people... I'm not making this a man issue.
Right.
People should cry. The birth of one of your children.
Good one.
The death of a blood relative or your wife or husband.
Good one.
Or if Chris Hansen walks through the door and you are on To Catch a Predator. 3 times.
Or the end of Field of Dreams. When he says, Dad, you want to have a catch. Oh, my God.
Gets us all the time.
Look, I'm tearing up right now.
Gets us all the time.
Mike, why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station.
Please stop masturbating. I think you need your balls reattached.
Time for You Shouldn't Have Said That with Smith and Milano.
All right. You shouldn't have said that.
Why?
I got one for you.
Okay.
I have one that you did. Because you really didn't say anything that offended me. I got to be honest with you.
Really, I didn't. What, yeah, bring it up. Bring it up, Nancy.
You said
what
you
is
like
it?
Cracker Barrel, you fucking idiot.
I do like Cracker Barrel.
Why?
You know what?
You explained it to me and I still don't get it.
Because when you're on the road and you're driving, sometimes you want a processed home-cooked meal.
Sometimes you also want a blowjob from a toothless hooker at a truck stop, but we all don't stop.
Actually, the one I knew was named Cracker Barrel. That was her name.
No, she knew it was catchy. She knew it was catchy.
I work with great chefs.
It was
I
memorable.
know great chefs.
You do.
I eat
Mario Batali. You know him personally.
I know him personally. Mm-hmm. I know him all. Pick a chef from Food Network. I know him.
Okay.
I've worked with him. I've eaten many, many great meals in my
You are a
life.
spoiled son of a bitch.
But I appreciate a Cracker Barrel. I appreciate an Egg McMuffin. I appreciate a Baconator from Wendy's.
So do I, bro.
I
but
appreciate all those.
I'm not being an elitist when I'm talking about food here. I'm not picking on Cracker Barrel for that reason.
Right.
That they're a chain restaurant and you can get it off the highway. I'm picking on them because they are the worst of the fucking worst.
I don't think they are. All right.
Agree to disagree.
My turn?
Yes.
My turn? All right. You shouldn't have said that you hate Cracker Barrel.
I see you put a lot of thought into that one.
You shouldn't have said that. And also, you know what? Next time, fucking download the entire page when you're going to do a story.
I know, that was great, right? I'm over here making fun of Jeff Sessions for crying. I bet you he prints out complete documents.
And I can always tell when you don't have anything. You're always like, so.
Here's good.